Ha! Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday and all that stuff. And I didn't bring any snacks with me, and I'm pretty
Oh
distraught
no.
about that. So, Pam,
And I'm hungry.
and you guys are all always in the wrong spot. Doesn't matter what I do, you are in the wrong spot. No, you're right.
Can I
Yay.
move it? Can I move it too? No, I can't. Okay.
Hot water and tea bag. Hi.
Anyhow, like I said, no distraught, no candy, no nothing. Just got water, and I'm bummed out. So, Pam, it's all your show.
Ooh. So yay, it's Kansas night, and we have Jess Holeman with us. You'll know Jess if you know us. She's been on a few times. She's my partner in crime with Bordertown Paranormal. She's also my podcast partner on Bordertown Strange. And when it comes to Halloween, her and her husband Mike and their daughter Raven, they run the Nightmare on Bradley here in Caney. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is a little bit about what they do and all the fun that they have doing that. And yeah. So Jess, take it away. Tell us a little bit about when you guys got started.
It's all
with
you,
this.
Jess.
It is. Go for it. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the.
Yeah, you can talk for like 55 minutes. Just go.
And go.
Did she get it?
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So yeah, we started this about 9 years ago.
Wow.
So a little backstory. So Pam and I are from a little tiny town called Caney, Kansas, where the town may be small, but Halloween is big. And it has been since before we were even born.
Oh, yeah.
Caney is very special to us, especially when it comes to Halloween time, because Caney is one of the few small towns, or the few towns anywhere, that still does Halloween the old way. So Halloween in Caney still means to this day door-to-door trick-or-treating. It still means elementary school parties and a parade every year of all the kids.
With a parade?
With a parade. So
right on.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah.
It means specialty houses. We have a cotton candy house. We have a 3-foot long pixie stick house. We have weird soda houses. We have glow stick houses and popcorn houses. And the library does free books and popcorn and candy.
You're talking all this snack stuff, and I told you I didn't have any snacks.
The fire station gives out full-size candy bars.
Ooh, yeah.
And more and more and more. The town just loves it. The churches give hayrack rides to the kids whose families maybe can't take them. Maybe their parents work, or maybe they live with older parents who maybe just can't get around. That you can go drop them off at the churches, and the churches hayride rack them around the entire town. Go block by block, drop them off and let them go get their candy and hop them back on. And then at the end, they get to go back to the church to a big Halloween party.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's just really great here. It's so great here, in fact, that when COVID happened back in 2019, 2020, we got a huge influx of kids who came in from outside towns. So we had people coming in from the Bartlesville area and Copan and Dewey and Fredonia and
little carrier monkeys, little COVID kids.
Well,
they were carriers.
Halloween fell towards the end of all of that when things were opening back up, but a lot of the other towns around us shut down completely. They were still very scared of it.
We were shut down.
Yes, but Caney said, "Stick it. You're not going to take away our Halloween, right?" And they came out in droves.
They did.
Yeah, that was one of our biggest Halloweens. So, growing up in this little town, we had all these fantastic things going on Halloween, but I happened to live on the wrong side of the highway in Caney. Caney is split in two by Highway 75, and there was not a whole lot going on the west side where I was growing up at. The big, huge, like the cotton candy house and stuff, that was on the east side of Caney. or excuse me, the west side. I'm on the east side. Everything was over there, and if you didn't have a parent to take you across that highway, you were just kind of stuck,
Yep.
knowing that all the other kids who had rides and could get to the other side of town were having this fantastic Halloweens. And I just always felt bad for my little side of town. And grew up, got married. One day, my husband and I decided we really needed to move. We were getting too big for our house that we were in. And we just happened to buy a house on my old side of town. Yeah. And my daughter Raven was when we moved was just getting into 6th grade. So 7th, 8th grade, they start kind of falling out of the trick-or-treating. And I was like, hey, we should pass out candy at our house. And then I started thinking, I was like, you know what? This side of town still doesn't really have a whole lot going on when it comes to Halloween. We should fix that. Yeah. We should fix this issue. So the Nightmare on Bradley was born. It actually wasn't named the Nightmare on Bradley the first year because I didn't realize how big it was going to get. It started very small.
So explain to people, this picture's your house, right?
Yeah. It's back there behind there somewhere.
So she saw it and she goes, yes.
Actually, Pam has pictures of like the first like year that we really.
Oh, I do. Yeah, let me switch screens here. Oh, this isn't it. Here we go. This is one of the first years.
Oh, yes. Wow. So you grew.
We have grown a lot.
Exponentially.
At this time, we were still just passing out candy. That has since changed. We are now the funnel cake house.
Yep.
Yes.
Wow.
So about 5 or 6 years ago, my husband decided, he was like, man, there's all these little specialty houses in Caney that, serve all these great things, like the cotton candy house. And he was like, we should have something too. And I was like, well, if you want to take that on, you do it. And
little did he know.
Yes. So he decided funnel cakes, because who doesn't love funnel cakes? You only get them when a fair comes around.
I like funnel cake, and Tina especially likes funnel cake. So you're telling me your husband has this mad funnel cake skill, and
he does.
He didn't bust out the funnel cake skill? Now I'm kind of distraught.
Well, he had to run sound. So we decided, we were like, funnel cake, holy cow, who doesn't love funnel cake? The only time kids get it is when a carnival comes around.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be fantastic? We did have to fix some issues, though. Of course, we don't have the time or the space to do these huge full-size funnel cakes. So what we did was we had these rings built that go down into the fryers, and they make the funnel cakes about the size of a French fry bag.
Oh, wow.
They're perfect.
Mini cakes. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we make them like 6 at a time. We have 2 sets of rings, and we pull the rings out, pull them out, and then they go straight into the French fry bags, and then the powdered sugar goes on top of them. So you have something to hold, and you're not getting it all over the place. Nice. So yeah. And we also give out candy.
And plus they're warm on a cold evening.
Right.
Yes. And people can smell them all over Caney.
All over the neighborhood.
Yes. The first year we did it, we had a couple show up from across town who didn't even have kids. They were in line
from out of state.
You're gonna get one from out of state, me.
They came up to the tent and they were like, listen, we're not going to pretend we don't have any kids. She was like, the wife was like, we were getting ready to go grocery shopping, and I got out to the car and realized I could smell funnel cake, and I made my husband drive around until we found the source of the scent.
She got a whipper on her.
Yeah.
Right. So what About how many pounds of funnel cake mix do you guys go through a year?
Right now, and we had to cap it because we can only make so much in so much time, but we bring in 40 pounds of
Wow.
dry funnel cake
Wow.
mix.
Wow.
And we do it right. It's a little expensive, but the kids are worth it. We buy the actual Funnel King mix that the carnivals use. So you
Nice.
are getting carnival funnel cake.
Oh, right on.
Yes, and we have about, I believe it's 16 giant squirt bottles that we keep refilling that go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily for us, Mike's cousin, Julie Holeman, she grew up, his family used to do carnivals. They had
Oh.
little food trucks and stuff.
Wow.
And she grew up working in one, so she comes and helps us every year because that woman is like on fire when it comes to funnel cake. She can put them out like crazy.
So the
Wow.
car-
Funnel cake.
A real
making
world
machine.
carny there.
So,
Yeah.
so
They
the-
actually
so the
ended up.
carny
Was
queen.
it 2 years ago that you guys invested in a secondary funnel cake fryer?
Yeah, so right now we have 4 fryers that we've been using, and this year we've added on 2 gas ones because last year it was really hard to keep up. It was so cold
Oh,
on
yeah.
those
Yeah.
cold days. We had a hard time keeping up. So we have the 2 gas, the propane ones to run to kind of keep the heat in there. So hopefully it won't slow down
That's awesome.
this year like it did last year.
Yeah.
That is insane. Girl, I wish you lived closer to me.
Luckily,
So-
she's not too far from you.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And we
About
do
how
we get
many- About how many
Mhm.
people do you think came through last year? Do you have an estimate?
Okay, well, I have the numbers, so I brought everybody that knows
A
me knows my
notebook.
notebook.
You know she has the numbers.
Yeah, so this is like
Why
my
did that not
Halloween Bible because in this is a listing of everything that we have because I have to put together the walkthrough every year. I change it.
Yep.
So I have to know what everything where everything is.
think I
So
have-
and I pulled out
Oh, while
Yeah,
you're
that's our
pulling that
countdown
up, this is the sign. It's actually out in her yard now. And
Oh,
this isn't today's
nice.
number, but yeah, she puts this out. Thankfully, the kids are very appreciative of it because she's had knocks at her door before saying, "Hey, we just want to make sure you're doing Nightmare again
Yeah.
this year."
Oh, yeah, it becomes an
do.
event, a special event, something to look forward to.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
Well, see, that's
yeah,
some. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say we put this out every year for the kids because the bus
Gotta get
routes
closer
to
to this.
from the elementary school to the high school and back come right in front of our house.
Hmm.
So they
That's
get to
great.
see it daily. They get to watch the countdown.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And you can see Pam's put up here. This is a sketch from last year, I believe. Every year I have to sketch out where the path is going to go and where everything's going to go. And I have my listing here so you guys can get an idea of what it is we do.
So is this your yard?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is her front yard.
yeah.
Cool.
The big blank spot at the top is our house.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, that don't matter.
Yeah. The smaller square to the side is the funnel cake tent. Everything has to wrap around the funnel
Yep.
cake tent to get kids
Uh-huh.
past it. Yeah. So I found my counts. Last year it was extraordinarily cold.
It
So we
was.
Yeah.
didn't get the numbers that we usually did. Last year we only got 675.
Wow.
Yeah. But the year before that, I pulled those numbers because
Only.
those are more up to speed. Yeah. The year before, we got 902.
Yep.
Wow.
We got rid of 40 pounds of candy. That year we got rid of 36 pounds of dry funnel cake mix, and we got 25 to 30 pounds of donated candy. So
Oh, nice.
yeah. Well, I mean, not donated to us. So what we do is a lot of people, of course, all those kids don't eat all that candy. There's candy that kids
Right.
don't like, or and rather than have to take it home and sort it out, because we have a little bit of a line, you have to wait a little bit for the funnel cake because it's fresh. So we put big, huge pumpkins out all along the route for the line. And you can, as a parent, go through your kid's candy, or your kid can go through their candy and chuck in anything they don't want out of their own candy pails into these donation buckets.
Oh
And
yeah.
then all of that candy at the end goes to the Blue Star mothers, who give it to our veterans and our troops overseas.
I
get it.
love that. See, I
Isn't that
knew we were
cool?
sisters from another mister, you guys.
So the
That
veterans
almost
get
makes
like
me want to cry.
the boxes of raisins and then.
Well, no, these kids are fantastic. Like the
Like
first year that I
juicy
did it
fruit.
was 2 years ago was the first time I did it, and I was so proud of my Caney kids because I was just like, we probably won't get a ton, but it will be nice to offer that to the Blue Star mothers. I literally spent half of my time emptying those big pumpkins into boxes because they kept overfilling. And like the kids would see me and they'd be like, "Oh, is that for the Blue Star mothers?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they would literally, without looking, reach into their candy buckets and just pull out handfuls to put in.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
Shaw. Hey,
Yeah.
Shaw. Heads up, you got a lot of background noise going on.
Oh, hang on just a second.
Mute yourself.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Yeah. And so, just so everybody at home knows, if you're interested, all the chapters of the Blue Star Mothers do this. They will take your leftover Halloween candy. And that candy gets split up. And I asked about this because I was like, man, how does all that chocolate make it overseas to their bases and stuff overseas, or to active troops if that's happening, if we have active troops somewhere. But what happens is they don't ship the chocolate over. All the non-perishable candy goes to overseas. And then all of the chocolate candy and stuff stays here. And they go to our veterans hospitals and to our veterans homes and to bases where there may be a lot of people away from home who maybe don't have, don't live on base. So that's where all that candy goes to.
Which is
So
really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yes,
really
it
cool.
is. So what
And
made you
you know
come
what's-
up with that?
Well, the Blue Star mothers here in town had already started collecting candy, and they would actually drop it off at like the library where Pam works. So I kind of knew about it that way. And what ended up happening was there would be a lot of candy left in our yard the next day after Halloween. And we realized it was a lot of Tootsie Rolls, things that weren't people's absolute favorites. Kids were
I
kind
love
of
Tootsie
ditching.
Rolls.
Yeah, I love Tootsie Rolls too.
They were kind of ditching them here and there. And I was like, man, I wish there was a way that if they had a place to put candy they didn't want, how would I do it? And I was like, and the Blue Star mothers are collecting. So the first year I did it, it was really just a trial and error. I promoted it on our page. We have a Facebook page, The Nightmare on Bradley. And I kind of spread it around town and put it in the paper, if you come to this house while you're waiting in line, you can sort your candy and then that will get donated. And it went crazy. So
Yeah.
Well, the
Nice.
reason you find Tootsie Rolls everywhere is because kids like to have Tootsie Roll wars.
Oh,
Yeah, they like to
Throw 'em
throw them at each other.
They
Yeah.
throw 'em at so that's why they're everywhere.
I know
Yeah.
at one time, Jess, you had told us that you guys were having to like empty those containers like every 10 minutes or something
Mhm.
because they were filling up that quickly. There is from the time they start. Do you start around 5? Is that when you guys?
Yeah, we go
Get
from
started?
5 to 9. Yep.
So about 5 from 5 o'clock on, there's a solid line up through
Wow.
that entire thing, just constant. And while we're talking, I'll go ahead and hit the next page here.
Okay.
Oh, and this is she's been actually in the Muse magazine. Was this last year?
Yeah,
year
the Muse
before?
magazine was last year, and then the write-up in the paper beside it was from 3 years ago, I believe.
Yeah. Very cool.
That is great.
That is really cool.
Oh, and one thing I told Jess that I wanted to do tonight is Jess is a really amazing artist. And
thanks.
a lot of the things that you're going to see tonight in the slideshow, she handcrafted. And that is something that I really wanted to focus on. And so you'll see that a little bit through here. But
Mhm.
tell
Yeah,
us a
these are
little
the
bit about
flickering candles.
yeah, these are so cool.
Yeah, so they're just PVC and spray foam and paint and little electric or the little battery candles.
Yeah.
But look at the effect.
What made
Look
you
at
try?
that.
What made you go with PVC instead of pool noodles?
Because I knew I was going to have to use these year after year,
Yeah,
and frankly,
yeah.
pool noodles are not going to hold up.
No, they're not.
No.
And look how good these
And
look.
They
they're
do
not
look good.
sturdy. I needed something that
Oh.
was going to stand up
Right.
to wind and to rain and to kids knocking into them. I just needed something sturdy. And
Does the foam make it a little
PVC
heavier?
No, actually, I use the foam to fill it so the candle will set down inside of it.
Oh, that's a good
You know what I
idea.
mean?
Yeah.
Like I spray it in there and then carve out a little hole. Enzo.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness.
But no, I thought that was really cool.
That is cool.
Let's see what else. Oh, and check out all the pumpkins.
Yeah,
is
so
so
we
fun.
have this started out as
It's a
my
pumpkin
own
wall.
personal
That's pretty
collection.
cool.
That is
Yeah.
really awesome.
So we display 72 vintage foam Jimmy jack-o'-lanterns every year. So every year I try to do something different with them.
Wow.
I
They
love
look
the top center where
awesome.
you've got Jack up there peeking over.
I love
Yeah,
the
the
hay
brown
bales. The
paper
hay bales and the pumpkins just make it feel more Halloweeny.
Yeah, they do. So cool. Very
That's
nice.
So,
awesome.
I'm sorry. Did you say those
I
were
want to
real
make a
pumpkins?
pumpkin wall.
Real pumpkins, or
No,
they?
they're foam.
They're foam. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we've got 72 vintage foam Jimmy jack-o'-lanterns that are lit. And then every year we carve anywhere from 3 to 6 pumpkins to have live on the porch. And then we have 3 real pumpkins that are never carved because we have a custom FX projection of 3 joking jack-o'-lanterns that say bad dad jokes to the kids going by, or they sing Halloween songs. Yeah.
My
cool.
Is
my
one of
kind
them
of
named Ken?
yes,
Yeah.
and so are the other
So
two.
these-
Ken and Ken and Ken.
This
Those
is
are my other
brother
brothers.
Ken and my other brother Ken.
Yeah, so these are some of our stand-ups. Everything that we do is all Tim Burton based. So you won't find anything in the haunt that isn't Tim Burton. This is the Corpse Bride. The Facebook page that I have is like a blog. So we kind of show step-by-steps on how we make new pieces and how we go about things. And this is one of the stand-ups that I showed step-by-step kind of how I painted of the
And it
Corpse
came
Bride.
out so good.
Yeah.
This
And there's a pile.
Oh, Beetlejuice!
Yes.
About how many of those do you have? Do you know? Do you have an estimate?
Yeah, I do. So we have 26 hand painted stand-ups and 16 small hand painted stand-ups.
Nice. And
Yeah.
these guys, she paints by hand. She draws them out by hand.
Oh, nice.
This is all
You are
all
a very good artist.
incredible.
Well, thank you.
And if you've ever been
You're
to
welcome.
the Caney Library, she's painted the children's section as well. So there's all the classic characters on the walls in there. It's really cool.
Mhm.
Nice.
And I love
You know
this.
what?
This is awesome.
Yeah, so this
Yeah,
is our
wow.
spider. Yeah, it's our spider tunnel. It's one of the kids' favorite features because they get to run through it. You get to go completely underneath the tree in a full spider tunnel. And the fun thing about
I
this
shrunk.
is I keep trying to get people to go ahead and do it themselves. This is beef netting for butchers. And you can only get it in one place. So if you go online to trentonmills.com, they're the only I found out this the hard way. When I first started doing this, I actually bought beef netting from a different provider, and it was not what I needed at all. It did not
Oh.
work. And I found out it's because every butcher dealer makes their own type of netting. No two are alike. It's a
Oh.
custom thing. So if you're wanting to do something like this, go to trentonmills.com and only there, and you have to get it in either in late winter or early spring, because otherwise they're sold out, because they actually sell more of their beef netting to home haunters and big haunt places than they
Oh my
do to
God.
butchers.
They
That's
even
funny.
have
Cool.
a banner on their page that
Yes.
shows the spider webbing.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. And Enzo just put the
Oh.
link in chat too. So thank you, Enzo.
Yeah. And it's so much fun to play with this stuff. You cut it up the middle, cut it to length, stretch it out, put holes in it with really sharp scissors. If you're going to do this at home, get the sharpest pair of scissors you've got and then sharpen them. They have to be super sharp. But you pull the holes and it creates them. And then I spend an entire day putting this up with a big ladder. We zip tie them up into the tree, and then I stake them to the ground.
But look at
Now,
how
do
it
you
looks.
do you
do you
use
have
the
to read-
poly cotton or the polyester?
So I use the mix, the poly cotton mix.
Okay.
So,
If you use the poly, I have found that it doesn't rip quite right, and the cotton doesn't hold up. So this netting that you're seeing here is 5 years old.
Wow,
yeah.
Yeah.
nice.
Holds up really well.
okay,
It
so
holds up.
you can reuse it then.
Mhm.
Oh,
You-
yeah. So the great
you
thing
don't have
about this is, so this is 65 yards. And it's actually not, I think I spent $30 on I think it was like a 10-pound roll, and there's 60 some yards of it in there. And the great thing is that once you're done for the year, I clip the zip ties, I pull the stakes out of the ground, I shake any leaves out or let it dry if it's gotten wet. And then it all fits down into one 30-gallon leaf bag
Oh,
for
right
your
on.
like lawn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
No,
No.
I just tie it up and it goes into my shed up on a shelf. So
It's just
that-
amazing how good it looks.
Doesn't it look great?
Right? I
It
actually
does.
saw that on a house in Collinsville. I was taking my daughter
Mhm.
to a doctor, and we saw a house that had that. I was like, what is that? What are they using? And it looks just like that. So that's got to be what they're
Mhm.
using.
yeah.
And
Pretty
Very
I
amazing.
mean,
lucky.
think about it, guys. She's running between 600 and 900 kids through here. Kids. So they're not
Mhm.
easy on anything.
No.
And they have access to all of this. And it's holding up so well.
Nice.
It really is incredible. I can't remember if there's another. Yeah, there's another shot of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
It just
looks
looks
amazing.
so
You have a
good.
spider.
Yeah. Gotta
A
have a
big
spider in there.
Speedy. Did you name him?
Yes, this is Lydia.
awesome.
Lydia.
Yeah. Now, something
Awesome.
else interesting before we leave the spider tunnel. So we actually have a mascot at the Nightmare on Bradley, and he's actually here with me. I brought him into the house for this special occasion.
Yay.
This right here is Frank the flamingo.
Oh, nice.
Right? He's our skeleton flamingo, and Frank has always lived inside the spider tunnel. He's right around on the other side of the tree. He kind of greets the kids as they come through. Yeah, Frank's been with us every year. And actually, speaking of, we were talking about Tootsie Rolls earlier.
Mhm.
It's actually a like a tradition now for the kids. If they get one of those gigantic Tootsie Rolls, one of the ones that's like what 6 inches long or so,
Yeah.
they leave them underneath Frank
Oh,
because it looks
So
like
cool.
he
Boo.
took a flamingo poo. Yeah.
That's
We started
great.
finding them
Cute.
about 4 years ago. Every time we would come to clean up in the morning, and the first thing we check is Frank, because there's usually a good pile of flamingo poo underneath Frank.
That's
Yeah.
That's
great.
funny.
Out of the
That's
wrappers.
awesome.
Out of the wrappers, of course, right?
No, they
No.
leave them in the wrappers.
Well,
Thank
We
goodness.
yeah, we pull them
Okay.
all up and donate them to
Good.
the Blue Star Mother.
Gotcha.
So.
Well, that's good.
This always looks so good, though.
It does. Wow. That looks amazing.
Here's some more
Yeah.
of the hand drawn and hand painted.
Nice.
They're
Yeah.
just so good.
the little weird creatures. So so the worm guy comes from, of course, the Corpse Bride. He's the little worm that lives inside the Corpse Bride. The little hamster mummy on the first panel is from Frankenweenie because he was a pet. And the cat is actually from all of his movies. It's one of the creatures that he throws into every movie, whether you realize it or not.
Coraline
And the
everything.
rest of the
Easter
creatures,
egg.
the rest of the creatures are either his own home sketches, because Tim Burton loves to draw, or they're from the carousel that goes around Beetlejuice's head when he becomes the carnival ride.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
that
And
is
so in
awesome.
some of these other photos as we go through here, you'll see some of these little guys in the backgrounds.
Yeah. We use them as fillers. They're just really fun to look for.
You can see them there
Ah.
in the cemetery.
Yes.
That's our
But it's
pet
all in the details,
cemetery.
right? Little here, little there.
That's
It is.
little
And
here,
see the
little there.
Beetlejuice and the Lydia right there. She
Yep.
hand painted those too.
Oh, from the cartoon. That is awesome.
Yeah. And the sign. I hand painted the sign and we built the lights into it.
That
The
is
Beetlejuice.
cool.
That looks so
Yes,
good.
it does. That's amazing.
My granddaughter, the Beetlejuice cartoon is on MeToons, and so every morning that she's here, we have to watch it. And I told her she's going to have to look for it at your house this year, and she was super excited. So, because it's never meant anything really to her before, so
Yeah.
now she'll be able to figure them out.
Yeah, I
So-
think this is the year I'm
Right.
going to show my daughter Beetlejuice.
So,
Yes.
Jess, how long does it take you to put all this together?
Yeah, that's right.
A long time.
It takes us about 8 days.
Okay.
Our thing is, so this is not up right now. The only thing that is on our lawn right now is the countdown sign. We start putting it up about 8 days out. And it is not ready to see until Halloween night.
So you
I
have
will
it
give a
blocked
little-
off from the road?
Mm-mm.
No, so we're putting it up, like people see it as it's
Okay.
going up, but it doesn't truly really come to life until we hit those lights the night
Oh,
before
yeah.
we do one test run. And a lot of people have figured out that we do this. We start getting a lot of traffic right after the sun goes down the
Yes.
night before Halloween,
Yeah.
which is fine. But yeah, and then what the other thing that we're known for is that we have this huge thing Halloween night, and the next day it's down completely by the
Wow.
time the sun sets.
Yep.
Yeah, we break it
Y'all
down.
are
every
quick.
day.
So it's one
Yes.
night only.
It's one night only. Yep.
Yeah.
Which makes it even more special,
Oh, yeah.
Who all volunteers
does.
to help you bring it down?
It's me and my husband, my daughter, and my mother sometimes comes and help. It's so much easier to break down than it is to put up.
Yeah.
It really is. Because every year
Wow.
I start from scratch, so I've got to kind
Yeah.
of lay out the different walkways, and you've got to figure out where
Mhm.
stuff's gonna sit, and
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
It is
Another
great.
interesting thing, you can see right there the loops that make the walkway. Those
Is
are
that the
pool
pew
noodles.
noodles?
Those are
Yep.
those are the pool noodles.
Yes. So we have 8 dozen pool noodles that we use for walkways and barriers to keep kids out of the cords and stuff because we don't want anybody tripping.
They had actually
and what you
started selling
can't-
them a lot this year for Halloween.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I'm smart and
Mm.
I buy up pool noodles right after summer.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, when they're on sale.
Yeah.
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 Because usually Walmart will sell them for about 25 cents a piece.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Another interesting thing, another little trick of the trade, if anybody's interested, if you're wanting to do this at home, we keep the walkways done up so the kids can, of course, get into the wires and stuff, but they go all over the yard. So how we figured out to get them across the pathways without tripping people, I went and bought a lawn edger, a handheld one that you just use your foot to push down in. And we
Oh.
create a line over the walkway where the cord's going to be. And then we just stuff the cord down in that little line in the lawn and then push it back over. So it's completely
Smart.
hidden. Yeah, and then at the end, when we're peeling it back up, you just pull the cord and it pulls right up out, and it doesn't mess up your lawn whatsoever.
Nice.
Yeah.
That
then the
is
kids
a
aren't
Not
good
like
tripping.
all those little feet trampling all over your yard. Don't mess up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can the next day you can see where the pathways
The
were
pathway.
in the yard. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see our pathways all winter. You'll know where the path was.
Zero.
There's
Yeah,
zero.
there's
Yay.
Zero. The little house
Aw.
I made, his little
Little
house
dog
there and all
house.
that.
Yes.
Aw.
So cool. How many blow ups do you guys have?
Actually, you know what I have the listing of
Okay.
everything that we have. So you guys
Cool.
will kind of know what goes into this. So I pulled fresh from this year, everything that we updated, replaced, blah, 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 blah. So we have 34 colored spotlights. We have
Wow.
9 themed spotlights that have like Oogie Boogie or ghosts in them. We have
Nice.
4 yard floods. We have 4 high beam tree floods because we uplight all of our trees in different colors. 300 feet in rope lights, 1,500 feet in colored twinkle lights, 3 smoke machines, 26 hand painted stand ups, 16 small stand ups, 37 static props, 31 inflatables, 1 18-foot vampire jack.
He's huge.
18 feet.
Wow.
He actually stands up above our tree line so the kids know where the house is because he's looking up over the neighborhood. Yeah. The one custom FX projection, 72 lighted Jimmy jack-o'-lanterns, 8 dozen pool noodles, 65 yards of spider netting, and 8 full handmade arches. Because we have
Wow.
different sections to the yard, so you go under a new
Yeah.
arch every time.
My goodness. And a
Swear.
partridge in a pear tree.
That's incredible. So my question would be, where do you guys store all this in the office?
Yeah. Yeah, I've
And
been thinking this all along. I'm
say,
like,
yeah, my answer to that, because we get asked that all the time, is where don't we? So right now, I'll tell you. So right now, so we converted the top of our garage into a holding area. So Halloween resides above our garage. It resides in our spare bedroom, under the bed, on top of the bed, under almost all the beds, except for Raven's, because she'll scream at me if I start loading Halloween into her room. We have 2 outbuildings, 2 outsheds that are completely full. My studio houses some of it. And then my mother, who lives out in the country, she has an old grain shed that we've converted that holds all 72 of the Jimmy jack-o'-lanterns.
Nice.
Because you can't break those down, you know.
Yeah.
We use gigantic trash bags, and we put like 8 to a bag, and then they get stacked on shelving all around that room.
So they don't get squished. Yeah, that's
So
smart.
they don't get squished. And we made the room impervious so that mice and stuff couldn't get in. It's all metal on the inside.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's we're about on the end of not having any more space. So it's either maybe another outbuilding, or I begged my mom to use one more portion of her shop or barn.
So this is something I've always wondered, and I don't think I've ever asked.
Mhm.
How do you guys I don't want to say electrify it, but how much electric do you use? And does your breaker box, did you have to do anything special?
We're actually in the process now of getting ready to have a brand new box put in that will be just
fortifying the
for this.
Yeah.
Right now, when it comes time to Halloween, our house looks like an octopus with all the cords coming out of
Yeah.
it. We actually shut down everything in our house except for the refrigerator when it's time to kick everything on.
Wow.
And we draw about 5 times as much as we would on a normal day.
Wow.
Well, at least you only do it one day.
Yes,
Right?
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it's
Holy
a lot.
cow.
So,
But
but actually, it's not as much as it used to be. We got smart and started reverting everything to LED.
Yeah.
Even the
Oh,
Jimmy
yeah.
Jack-o'-lanterns. And I have to give kudos to my husband, bless his heart. He spent one entire week about 2 years ago converting every Jimmy pumpkin into a LED run with a brand new cord. And then
Oh.
he created daisy chain cords with plugins on it
Yeah.
so that when we do the big runs of the pumpkins, they can all be attached on those one cord that goes all the way around.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wish my husband was into the holidays, but he's not. He's like, you decorate all you want. I don't want nothing to do with it. And I'm like,
Oh,
but I need
lame.
your help. But he goes, no.
I'm the same way though. I mean, I love to see it, but to actually put forth the effort to do it, that requires a passion I don't have, and you obviously do. That's pretty awesome.
Mhm.
so Jess,
It's
is the
fun.
next step you keep everything and put it back up at Christmas time, put little hats on them?
Yeah.
Christmas hats?
No.
I
No.
was just curious, you know.
No. In fact, Christmas
I mean,
time,
it's Nightmare Before
the only thing you get is
Christmas there, so.
icicles on our house. We don't do anything else because we're pooped from this.
Mhm.
Right.
But
Well,
yeah,
you've
so
got the Border Town convention and this all within a month of each
Yeah.
other.
yes,
Yep.
that's I
And
just
it's
got back from vacation because
Yep.
that's what we do. We have an anniversary that falls on the 14th, and about the
Yeah,
week
it was
before that,
yesterday.
we take a vacation because we need
Wow.
it. We
And
come
then
right
my
off of
husband's
Paracon, and
birthday, isn't his birthday like the first weekend in
yeah, it's the
October?
2nd of
Yeah.
October, so it's a whole lot, like right at the same time. Yeah, we take a break and then we come back in, and there's nothing on the lawn right now, but my backyard is full. So, every year we put up a brand new front feature. So when you walk up to the house, it's going to be something completely different from the year before. There's a theme every year. Pam showed a couple of them. The stacked pumpkin wall was a feature one year.
That's cool. I
And that-
think
Yeah.
that wall is cool. I think that's
Yeah.
my favorite.
The groundbreaker Jack, where it looked like Jack Skeleton had, was popping up out of the ground with all the pumpkins in front. That was a feature. Every year we do that, and this year I'm working on the front feature right now. So
Ooh, it's gonna be a surprise.
yeah.
This looks good too.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
This is
The
pretty awesome.
yeah, the inflatable Jack right there in the back, that's a movie screen on him. It plays the movie,
Ah,
and you can walk by and watch the movie play on him.
Wow.
Isn't that
The
cool?
Nightmare Before Christmas, I should say. It's that movie. We actually have a good portion of Tim Burton's movies presented here. So we have The Nightmare Before Christmas is presented, The Corpse Bride, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Frankenweenie, Sleepy Hollow, Alice in Wonderland, James and the Giant Peach, and Vincent, which is one of his first movies he ever
Yeah.
made. And then we, of course, have some of his sketch figures represented, and Stain Boy, which was like his one poetry character that he ever did.
Wow.
And then,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
and then in the coming years, we're working on Miss Peregrine's Home of Peculiar Children. That will be
Nice.
on there. Dark Shadows, because who doesn't love
Oh,
Dark Shadows?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
All
my
of the
kid's
best.
favorite, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So,
That
is their
That'll
favorite.
be awesome.
was a good one.
yeah.
That
So
was a good one.
do the neighbors help at all with space, or do they thumb their nose
they
at
mean mug you?
Do they?
Oh, well, okay, so all the neighbors are very supportive. Luckily for
Okay.
us, the house on the corner right beside us, it's been empty for many years. And so we get to kind of impinge on their property a little bit. So I get to spread out just a little bit and breathe.
Okay.
And the neighbors are all very supportive. They weren't the first couple of years because they soon realized that if that many kids were coming to my house, that many kids were going to their house for candy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they learned very quickly that if they wanted to participate, they were going to have to up their candy game. But it's done actually great things for this neighborhood. So when we first moved in here, only the house right beside us on the other side ever handed out candy. It's an older family here in town, and of course they're going to give out candy. The Rollses, they live there and they hand out candy, but it has because the area has become so popular solely because of our house. Other houses have slowly started decorating
Oh
and
yeah.
doing candy every year,
You're
and in
guilting them
fact,
into it.
Absolutely.
well, they're starting to realize how much fun it is, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And if you have, you know, it's hard to get through here traffic wise. We're lucky to have the police kind of keep an eye on it for us and kind of help direct traffic sometimes. But if you're going to have this kind of traffic here, you might as well join in on the fun.
But you're saying the whole town does it because you have that cotton
Absolutely.
candy
Yeah.
house and the Pixie house and all that
Yes,
stuff.
they do. But on our side, that wasn't happening, and now
Yeah.
it's starting to happen. It's starting to trickle out, and I'm really excited this year. So we have some neighbors that kind of live catty corner to us, and he came to me this year, and he was like, "You guys are going down." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "I'm totally going to outdo you on inflatables. You're going down." And I was like, "Bring it on. Let's do this." And he has been slowly adding like 2 or 3 a day. He's up to like 20 some
It looks
now.
good.
Wow.
I think he keeps giving me like looks when I drive by as if like, "Yeah, I got you."
That's
I
funny.
haven't told him yet that we have one
So
more
he has
inflatable
inflatables.
in.
You have an event.
Yeah.
Right.
But I know I
And nothing's
encourage
gonna
it.
beat the
I was
funnel
like,
cake.
I really encourage it because wouldn't it be great if one day this entire street, you
It
know,
would
Right?
be
was like
so
was like a
great.
candy cane lane, only you get to go drive down
Yeah.
that
The
because it's all
Halloween.
Halloween.
And I know, like
Yeah.
Sandy, she's like a couple of blocks to your south, maybe 3 blocks to the south,
Yeah.
and they love it because,
Yes.
you know, they're on the east side of the highway, and they just never got the trick or treaters because downtown and everything else is on the west side of the highway.
Mhm.
So, yeah, to see it happening, that's so great. And it's so fun. And I know not everybody was here at the beginning, but Jess was talking about the fact that there's some churches that actually do hayrack rides, and they fill up the big trailers just full of kids. They pick them up at the church and they take them around to all these places. So, you know, Jess and them, they'll see them coming. We see them coming too, because we're at the library on the other side of town. We'll see them down the street and we'll be like, "Okay, get ready, guys. We're getting ready to get hit," you know, and
Halloween
they'll
town.
all
I
just
love it.
converge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
So,
always know when there's a trailer full coming because you can hear them about 2 blocks away when they spot the gigantic inflatable jack that's up above the tree line. They'll finally see it and you hear them scream. Yeah! And I'm like,
Get in
"Oh
on that
crap,
first.
here they
Awesome.
come."
dun dun.
That's
But
cool.
no, it
Oh,
is
man.
an event. Caney does that one right for sure. We've always done Halloween right. And
Mhm.
I know we were looking back in the yearbooks a few years ago, and I want to say, can't remember exactly what year, but it was like 1920. It was in the 20s.
Mhm.
Is where we saw mention of a Halloween parade where they were going to start a parade in town. So
Mhm.
that parade has been happening. You know, we have the little parties at the grade school, and everybody brings their costumes, and then uh you know, at one point of the day, they go ahead and put their costumes on and they line them up, and then they walk them downtown, and then they come clear down our 4th Street, which is Main Street basically. And everybody knows that their kid's going to be in this parade, so everybody goes to watch them walk through and clap and, you know, hoop and holler at them when they go
That's
through.
awesome.
And then
That
they
is
get to go back to the
awesome.
grade school and they have their little parties and stuff, you know. And when they leave, it's pretty not too long after that we actually start the door-to-door, you know, trick-or-treating. So we're
Mhm.
up and running at the library. We try to have stuff ready by 4:30 because we know they're going to full on by 5.
That's
So
great.
yeah,
That's
it's great.
awesome.
It's so fun.
Wow.
So
It
so
is.
fun.
I wish it was more like that around here. There's a lot of houses around this area that wants to, and you can
Yeah.
tell that they do. This one guy does a pirate ship almost every year down the street. I mean,
Oh,
he
that's
builds
cool.
Yeah,
it,
I've
brings
seen
it
that one.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love
It
it.
That
is.
is
And then you
awesome.
got the older couple that's on the corner of 14th and Cherokee that has the inflatables all over the place, but they're really up in age, so they can't really do a
Yeah.
lot. But then right next to him, you got another one that's doing inflatables and stuff. And then next to him, they have like old stuff in their yard all the time. But now they have like this 12-foot skeleton.
How cool.
I mean,
That's
it's
so
like getting
fun.
bigger and bigger every year. It's getting amazing.
You know, I remember when I was a little kid, well, for every year that I can remember, there was the cotton candy house for sure that we always went to trick or treat at. And it's the Buster family here in town. And, you know, since then, they've passed it on to their kids, and their kids run it now. And they do full size cotton candies. So,
Mhm.
and they always have.
Wow.
And it's just so
nice.
cool. But it's fun to see it go down through the families. And
Yeah.
Sean, Ken, I think you were with me. We were at the cemetery in Katy, and I
Yeah.
pointed out the cotton candy house
Oh, yes.
on the
Oh, yeah.
headstone.
Yes.
Yeah, that was Mr. Buster's.
Now you got a
headstone.
reference to what that means.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
I
on
was-
his headstone, there's a Victorian house, and underneath it, it says the Cotton Candy House.
Yep.
I remember that. I was going to
Yeah.
ask, did they use the cemetery at all for
Mm-mm.
anything? Because that's on the
No.
west side, isn't it?
But they make their
Yeah.
cotton candy.
They make it
Yeah,
right there in
yeah.
front of you.
Oh,
Yeah.
They have on there. They
nice.
have a really nice Victorian and a real wide porch. You know, so you have to actually go up on the porch, and you can stand there and watch them twist it up and hand it off to you. So it's really
Oh,
cool.
nice.
That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very neat.
It's
Yeah,
so nice to see homemade stuff like that,
Yeah.
especially during Halloween.
It
'Cause
is.
that was my
Yeah.
nostalgia growing up. Was a lot of people making homemade treats, and
Yep.
you
Mhm.
getting these interesting corn balls or Rice
Yeah.
Krispie treats or stuff like that. But
Yep.
they were good. They weren't this
Yeah.
crappy plastic tasting stuff that you
That's-
get in the store.
You know, yeah, and like at the library, like Jess was saying, we have a popcorn machine, so we make popcorn, but we also give out candy, and we also every kid that comes through gets a book. So you know,
nice.
which we think is really cool. We've done that for
Really, man? Can
5
I
or
just
6
have a
years now.
candy bar? Why are you making me read?
Right?
Hey, my
We
daughter
don't
would
force
love
them
How
to.
long? How long does
We
it
don't
take
force them
people
to
to
take
make it
one,
through?
but
How long does it take the kid to navigate through your little
oh
trail?
gosh,
I actually don't know. It depends on like when you've gotten there, you know, how short the funnel cake line is if you're getting funnel cake. And a lot of people like to stick around.
Oh yeah.
So they'll go through it like numerous times, or like we have diehard fans who will get there at like 5 when we open. We usually have a line waiting to come into
That's
the
fun.
yard. They'll come through to get funnel cake as fast as they can so they don't have to wait too long, and then they'll go off and trick or treat, and then they'll come back to see the lights.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Once it's
I
dark.
always tell people like during the day it's okay looking, it's pretty cool looking, but it's at night when you want to
Oh,
see it because
yeah.
we have all the
100%.
FX projection.
oh yeah,
all
it's so
the-
good.
Yeah, all the lighting, and it's so much better at night. I'm always so proud of myself. I always take a minute when we're getting ready to shut down and the crowds have finally cleared a little bit. I always go well out past my house, like down the road, to take a look at it because,
Yeah.
you know, 8 days of work. Whew,
Yeah,
you might as well
Yeah.
take a
Well, you
minute.
gotta take a moment, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I
But
will say so. Yeah.
I'm going to say, do you videotape the whole thing also?
I do. So if anybody's interested
like
in
15
seeing,
minutes away.
every year we videotape. You can get up onto the Facebook page, The Nightmare on Bradley, and you can go year by year and see the walkthroughs that we do.
I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
check
cool.
that out. It's really cool. I was gonna say, I was talking about earlier about the police being so nice about kind of helping with traffic if they had to. I do have to give a shout out to the Caney police. So I never asked them to do this, but they do start watching our property for us that 8 days out. There's usually somebody on this side of town at night watching. A couple of times I've woken up to lights flashing in the front yard because they have stopped somebody from walking in on the property.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes, they keep an eye out unasked. And so a couple of years ago, we started making sure that the last 6 things of funnel cake do not go to kids. We sell out before the 6 are sold, and then
Yeah.
those go up to the police department
That's
so they can
awesome.
have hot funnel cake,
Yes.
you know, because they don't get to be out and about with their kids. So we take
Alicia
care
Yes,
there.
Karen, that's my little
Alicia's
spawn.
Alicia's in the chat on my Facebook, and she said
Mhm.
cotton candy funnel cake, and then they finish it off with corn dogs from Sonic, and that's their Halloween staples in Caney. And she said last year it
Yeah.
took them an hour and a half to get through, so I'm sure that was a peak.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
get through it.
well, no, well, I mean, it was because it was slow because it was so cold. We couldn't get them
Oh,
out
yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
Last year was terrible. It was just so cold. We just couldn't keep the fryers up to the correct temperature, so we were having to wait in between batches to get the So hopefully we've rectified that this year with all of our spares, and we've created an entire area for them so that any wind or anything won't disrupt the heat.
That's awesome.
That's the last
So-
picture of that
Awesome.
slideshow.
Now, do you
No,
have it
there's a
in a
couple more.
tent or do you just
Yeah.
have it in an open area?
We
We'll have
have
to
it in
zip
open
through
area
some of
because
these.
it's a huge fryers, so
Yeah,
you have to
oh,
have
yeah.
that air.
Yeah.
There's a good. This is an older picture too, so this was a few years
Yeah.
ago, probably
Yeah.
2019, 2020ish.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, everybody loves the photo ops and stuff to come through.
Yeah, so we have a photo op area, which you'll see here in a little bit, and we're changing it again too, so it won't be quite the same. I think somewhere I have
Oh,
a
here's
listing.
here's some of the fun.
Yeah.
Dana, love Dana, and the Dentons, and in the middle
Yeah.
that's Jess with her husband Mike, and then that's Jess and Mike over here. That's me. I was what was her name? Harry Potter. Oh my gosh.
Bellatrix.
Yeah, Bellatrix Lestrange. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that at
Yeah.
the library because we always dress up at the library too. Oh, here's the photo op.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And it'll change
Fun.
again this year, so people have something else to take a photo with.
Yay.
That's cool.
And I'm considering maybe doing some cutouts where you can put your face in it, you know?
That would be
Oh,
cool.
that'd be cool.
Yeah. The girl there in the white and black is my daughter, and she helps every year too.
Oh,
Raven.
nice. See, we have a really long driveway.
Mhm.
And I told my husband, I said, one year what we need to do is like a mad scientist little maze
Ooh,
walk
yeah.
through
That'd be
that goes
fun.
down the driveway into the garage. But I got to get rid of all my parents' stuff first. It's taking up the garage.
Funny.
Yeah,
Mike.
that's my husband there with one of the kids that showed up, and the Moore family always comes in and helps us because you have to have at least 5 people underneath that tent running all the different sections.
yeah.
Passing out candy, funnel cake, getting people around.
And
We
everybody's excited
also-
too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We always have to have at least one person at the front of the walkthrough to direct people because people get so excited they don't know quite which way to go.
Yeah.
So we kind of
That's
position
funny.
people all over the yard. We position volunteers to kind of keep things moving, keep an eye on kids so they're not walking into the inflatables or anything. I don't want anybody to get tangled up and get hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
So it takes a
But-
little bit of an army.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
We
you
had- I had
as
to
the
add this in.
organizer.
I had to
that
add
should be
this
a
in. This is
problem.
November 1st. This is the next day. That is what her yard looks like the next day.
I mean,
Yep.
it's poop.
Wow.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
So I
take us
found
back
a
to that
listing
first
here.
picture, Pam.
Yeah.
Huh?
Take us back to that first picture.
Actually,
Yeah.
I think there it is.
There you go. Yeah, that is.
Yep.
So that's just
That's
amazing.
Isn't that
Yeah.
cool?
And yeah, the work that you do. So you put that up so quickly, and then
Yeah.
poof, it's gone.
And then
Mhm.
poof, it's gone.
That's awesome.
I always love it. So the first day we start putting up decorations. We start breaking everything out. The school bus will come by in the morning and you hear all the kids just scream. They're like, yeah, because they know what's coming. And then if it happens, if the November 1st happens to fall on a school day, we're out there in the morning before it gets light outside, breaking stuff down. So by the time the school bus comes down, about half of it's to the ground.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can hear them all go, oh.
Oh, yeah. No, it's awesome.
Oh my goodness. Well,
All
So
right.
yeah,
Well,
if you're in
am
the area,
impressed.
anywhere in the area, Caney, Kansas, it's 406 North
Mhm.
Bradley is the street address. And if you get up on
Yeah.
Facebook, you can find it at The Nightmare on Bradley on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Just
So,
look it up. It's great. It's easy to find. I found
That
it.
is
I liked it.
awesome.
I'm going to be checking it out. I want to look at those videos you're talking about. I'm
Well, if
looking
you
forward to
don't
seeing what
mind,
you
I'll
come
probably
up with.
come through on the 31st and live feed it.
oh, that'd
You
be cool.
absolutely can. So
That'd be really cool.
we feed the parents too. If you
Yeah.
come through, even if you don't have a kid, you can have candy and funnel cake too, because we
Can you have more than
Yay.
one funnel cake?
Halloween is for all ages.
I'll have a funnel cake
So-
for you, Adrian.
She'll have it on live stream. She'll show it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's your
Okay.
funnel cake.
And And she'll show to you,
Mhm.
Adrian,
It's so
Our hour's
good.
up. I want to say that
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this. That is really cool. And
She
just,
does, Karen, every year.
Yeah, Karen's asking if you foot the bill for this entire extravaganza.
The entire thing.
Yep.
We foot the bill for it, and it takes it's not as bad. Well, I mean, we've built it over the years, so it's not as if
Yeah.
we threw all of this down in one time.
It's a big
We're really-
investment.
yeah,
but
because that's a
Yeah.
lot of money I'm seeing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is. But we're also really good at buying off Halloween. We'll wait until after the first of the year when people are selling off old stuff or old
Yeah.
stock. And we have had a little bit donated. People have donated Jimmy pumpkins that they didn't want anymore, or Walmart once in a while will donate a couple of bags of candy for us to use.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah.
Which Walmart?
The
Coffee?
Coffeeville one. Coffeeville,
No, I was about to say
Kansas.
Coffeeville one.
Yeah. The Coffeeville,
Oh
Kansas
my
one, yeah.
gosh. Wow.
And it's fun
yes, they're
because she'll get
amazing.
stuff for, Christmas. Christmas presents will be inflatables, and
Presents
birthday
or
presents.
inflatables, and yeah,
Mm.
I get so
That's awesome.
excited.
Oh my gosh. You are amazing. Is this as nightmarish as it is when you're putting on the
The Paracon.
convention? Yeah, the
Yeah.
Paracon.
This is easier than the Paracon.
I
Right.
can
I don't
appreciate
have to-
though. It was
yeah.
good to see you smile this year.
Yeah,
For sure,
I-
right?
instead of I'm not dealing with 40 people when I'm working
True.
on this. Yeah.
And
Karen
talk
said you're the
about
queen of
smiles.
Halloween. Karen, she is the queen. Yeah, she is definitely
Yeah.
the queen of Halloween.
Talk about
Yeah.
smiles. This is the first time I saw that much of a smile on you, Jess and Pam, because I see that you guys
Right.
enjoy this and actually bringing this to life
Right.
is fantastic. So I'm kind of jealous.
Halloween's the
Aw.
best. And,
mean, and-
our little town, if you look at the fact she's running between 600 and 900 people through this, our entire population is 1,700 in our little
Wow.
town. So that
Yeah.
tells you how big a deal this really is,
Yeah,
and how many
that's
people are
good.
coming from out of town. And yeah, it's
Mhm.
neat.
My fortune
Candy's
cookie
well
says the
known for
Logie
it.
bear can easily be shared. I think that was meant for Jess.
Yay!
Plus,
I'm getting better at it.
plus you've got the extension of not just the local area, but you're taking this also to the military, to overseas, and so you're really spreading the joy. This is great.
Yeah.
This is really,
Really
really
good.
cool.
I will say, my crowning achievement, back in 2020, Tim Burton featured me on his Facebook page.
Yep,
Oh, yeah, right
Nice.
she did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet that had
I
you just
almost-
all glowing.
She
I
was
was- I
floating,
freaked
man.
out. Yeah, I did. I was freaking out. I was just like, oh my God. And I went and double checked because I was like, this isn't like a Tim Burton page that somebody else is running
Yeah.
or whatever. No, it was his
No.
official page. So
Nice.
One
That's
whole
awesome.
day, I was like the queen of Tim Burton. It was awesome.
That is great.
Awesome. That is
That's
great.
well deserved. Well
It
deserved.
was for sure.
All right, we
Yeah,
got to wrap
but,
this up. We're over an hour.
yep.
I just wanted to. I could definitely talk about this for a long time. I know my wife. I said you need to watch the show. You're gonna like the show, and she'd been commenting along
I'm
that
super
since she got on.
excited that Shaw's
Yeah.
going to live stream it too. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That'll
get
be
out there.
Cool.
I don't get
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
many
Come and see
viewers
it.
as you guys do, but I'm getting there.
Yay! Good deal.
All right.
Yeah, but come see our front wait. Come see
Oh.
our front feature this year, because the piece I'm working on right now, oh my god, it's like 14 feet tall
Oh wow.
Oh my
that I'm
gosh.
building right now. So you have to come by and at least see my front
Wow.
feature. At least
And you're
one
like
eye.
5 foot tall,
Yeah.
so that's like 3 times as tall as you are.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get it stood up. I haven't gotten there yet. I'll figure it out though.
That's so funny.
Oh my goodness.
Yay.
All right, next week I'm not going to tell you who I got because I haven't got a confirmation on that, but I do have a backup, so I do have a guest next week. But
Yay.
you'll know before the show.
Ah!
Sweet.
Hey, everybody, you know the rules. Come back next week. Have a listen to us as we just yammer. And bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.
Bye,
Bye.
bye,
night.
y'all.